Hey,
What's
Rashad.
up, YouTube? What's up, YouTube? What's up, YouTube? My name is Rashad Milligan. If you are new to the channel, this is the road to 5K subs. I have the Falcons shirt on today, but that's not because it's me showing bias to the Falcons or anything. It's literally just a t-shirt I had on today. So many things happened today on this day of, what's the date? Well, actually, it's the 8th, technically, because I'm recording at 1 a.m., which leads me into the next point of guests. So, I spoke to Terrell today. Terrell for the OGs. Terrell, a.k.a. Ashley Knuckles, South Carolina fan. Spoke to him today. I was like, man, when you coming back on? He was like, bro, whenever you set it up. That's the first time I spoke to Terrell since the LSU South Carolina game in the regular season. Excuse me. So, he said he was going to hop on then. He was like, give me about 20 minutes. I recorded the whole thing. I didn't hear anything from him after that, so it didn't work out. A couple other people kind of fell through as well. However, Angel's still happening. Angel's still coming on the channel, coming up shortly, soon, whenever that might be. It's really just a terms of schedule thing because the past couple videos I've recorded after midnight. So just to pull back the curtain and everything like that. Like today, the game ended at like 5 Eastern, 6 Eastern. Excuse me, sorry y'all. But I'm just recording it now at 1:15 a.m. because, as you guys might be able to tell, I got a retwist today, and that took up the entire day. And I tried to even live stream on YouTube from my phone, but my phone didn't have the facilities for that capacity of expectation of the duration. Anyways, the reason why you all are here. 2 minutes of blabbering, I'm gonna put a timestamp in it. Stop complaining. Shout out Hunter. Got this page up in the other tab. But I'm ready to refresh it. I was wrong about a lot on April 7th. I'm just glad the national championship game wasn't one of them. Hey! I was wrong about a lot on April 7th and the weekend of April 7th. I'm just glad the national championship game wasn't one of them. Hold up! Let's break down the game. First quarter, Kaylin goes crazy. 18 points. What the heck? You cannot stop this girl. She gets to the line. She's hitting threes. They foul her back-to-back threes. What are you doing, South Carolina? What is going on? Iowa gets out to a 13-2 lead. I'm like, oh, man. Is it going to be one of those? What's going on? First quarter ends. As the first quarter ends, South Carolina climbs back in it. Relax. There's nothing to worry about. Second quarter, Raven Johnson. Hollywood! Switched on to Caitlin. You got the assignment. And she understood the assignment. I'm sorry. I ain't gonna lie. That one was corny, but I had to do it. It just slipped my mind. So, Raven Johnson sticks on Caitlin Clark, second quarter on, and nothing was the same. She did her thing. She did what she had to do. She got it done. Real Atlanta legend, real Westlake legend. Shout out to Sanaya Vegan as well. There's a video of her with Tessa, one of those Tessa talks, where she literally says her name. And she was like, vegan, guys. Like, she said it the correct way. And I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I forgot the way she said it and emphasized it in the Tessa talks. I'm sorry. I apologize. But she's also Atlanta proud Forest Park legend. Anyways, I want to get back to it. South Carolina gets in there. Pretty much, takes the lead back as we go into halftime. Headlined by the steal of Raven off of Caitlin Clark into the layup. Give them about a 3-point lead going into halftime. Excuse me. We get to the second half. Second half, It's a game of runs. You know Iowa's going to make their run. When they make their run, what are you going to do? The run didn't really come into the fourth quarter, about midway through the fourth quarter. Iowa makes their run. South Carolina, what you going to do? Officiating. Let's talk about officiating. There are bad calls, once again, on both sides. It seemed like the amount of bad calls, though, kind of lean this way. Kind of lean towards Iowa. That's just how I call it. South Carolina, I thought, and Iowa, for the most part, did good jobs of just not letting it affect them too much. Like, of course there was an initial, but nothing too crazy. Dawn did a great job of keeping her composure on the sideline, just kind of smiling and like, all right, because like I said, they already knew what they had to do to win the game. Just in case we saw something that was going to look like the rest of the NCAA tournament. Iowa fans, I want to say thank you for a great season. It's been fun, having y'all jump on me and challenge me. It feels like 1,000 versus 1 every single time, and I love it. I loved it. Hopefully you guys keep that same energy with the Indiana Fever this summer, and we can keep the fun going. There's no need to stop the fun. Let's keep the fun going. Yes, it was 3 major times you guys got on me. The Caitlin Clark game winner, me defending Cheryl Swoops, and this one, y'all didn't even really get on me that crazy. It was more so just like, like you're wrong. You call it on the UConn thing. However, I just want to say I appreciate y'all's passion, and like I say, I hope y'all stay in the game. Y'all got another Hawk in the league as well. Megan over there, she played at Phoenix last year. I don't know if she's still in Phoenix. Is she still in Phoenix? Is Megan still in Phoenix? Megan is now with the Aces. Oh, okay. My bad. I'm tweaking. Megan is now with the Aces. Megan Gustafson. So, you know what I mean? Like, Gustafson. So, she was like the greatest player in Iowa women's basketball history 2 years ago. Like 4 years ago. 5 years ago. Before this lady named Caitlin Clark came along. So, yeah, man. Go support Megan as well with the 2-time defending champion Las Vegas Aces. And support Caitlin this summer. Guys, keep that momentum going. Because the league could use it. The league could use that fan support and stuff. And the fans are great now in the W. Of course, I'm in Atlanta where they sell out every other home game in College Park over there by the airport. So I see the atmosphere and I see the passion. I've been out to a couple of Sparks games last season, so I saw the passion in the NBA arena. And then I've been to Brooklyn for a Liberty game, and that atmosphere was crazy. That was probably the best WNBA atmosphere I've seen on a big like arena type thing, because Atlanta's arena, amazing atmosphere, sellouts, but it's in a small arena. Like, it only seats about 3,000. Up in New York at Barclays, that's an NBA arena where the Nets play, and them folks packed out the lower bowl for a regular season game, and it was loud. The fans were engaged. They knew what was going on. They had on jerseys, team jerseys and stuff like that. Like, it was just kind of different up there in New York. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But I say all that to say, W has had great fan support and everything like that, especially over the past few years. But this surge of women's basketball, college women's basketball, and this game, or the previous game, being the most watched basketball game ever on the ESPN network, it was just crazy. And on 3 occasions, at least 3 occasions, college women's basketball games got more views than NBA games. Let's keep that momentum, that amount of momentum into the W. You know what I mean? Because we appreciate it. We appreciate it for sure. For sure. We appreciate it. The W's gonna be dope with or without it, but who gonna say no to some extra support and some extra seats, some butts in the seats, some fans in the stands, and more jerseys on the streets? Yes. So I say all that to say thank you, Iowa fans. South Carolina, man, oh man, South Carolina. I have to give it up to South Carolina, bro. I had South Carolina fans asking me in the preseason when I did the preseason way too early predictions for the season preview. I was like, I just don't know that they overcoming a lot. Losing the freshies, losing the whole starting five, they're overcoming a lot, man. And they overcame every single bit of it. I ain't gonna lie. Excuse me. And I knew it was different from that first game, because first game in Paris, them jokers played Notre Dame and blew them out the water. And Notre Dame ain't nothing to sneeze at, as you saw Hannah Hidalgo. Shout out to Hannah Hidalgo. Great freshman season. Let me tell you something, man. Malaysia Full Volley has a special type of touch, bro. When she touches the ball, bro, it's magic offensively. The athleticism is crazy as well. Ashlyn Watkins, crazy athleticism. A defensive enforcer. Pretty talented on the offensive side as well, but defensive, enforcer, rebounder, all those things. Chloe Kitts, grade 4 offensively, nice solid rotational player. Camila Cardoso, you can't teach size, but something she has on top of size is skill. Camila Cardoso is skilled, and that's something that, you know what I mean? Some of my old homies, you know what I mean? If you've been on this channel, you know some of my old homies. I rock with them and I love their games and everything like that, but you can't teach skill. Camila Cardoso has skill, man. Well, I guess you can teach skill. You can't teach height. Sorry, I said that backwards. But she has height. Skill too is what I was trying to say. Who else we going? Raven Johnson, Atlanta legend, the way you stepped up this year, the way that you and Flage stepped up this year. Atlanta, Georgia, are you listening? And y'all say, Flage, she from Savannah, that's 4 hours away. She went to high school in Marietta. That is Metro Atlanta. It is Atlanta? No. Sprayberry High School. But them two right there, the work y'all put in last offseason, y'all definitely most improved this season, man. Give it up. And Raven, not even just happy for Raven for bouncing back from the wave-off game last season, but Raven bouncing back from starting her career off on an ACL injury, missing a whole season. She didn't just come back from last year. She came back from just coming back. Sometimes in life, you get knocked down. Then you get knocked down again. Then you might come back and then you might get all the way close before you get knocked down again. That next time when you give up, you just never know when you're going to have a comeback for your Never give up. Never give up. There's been a lot of times where folks contemplated giving up, man. Never give up. Never give up, bro. Whatever you do, never give up. Never give up, sis. Never give up, gender neutral person. Never give up, non-binary being. Never give up. They, them, he, she, it, wit. Like to spit, going off the top with it. Hey, yo. But, never give up, bro. Raven Johnson, what a story, dog. That's my story of the tournament. Is Raven. And salute to Camila as well, coming over to the United States at 15, bro, by herself. Not seeing her parents or her mom for the first time, or her family for the first time in 8 years or something like that, when they came up and popped up on them before the tournament, or before the SEC tournament. So shout out to Camila as well. But Raven Johnson, man, what a story, bro, of resilience. And then so you had the physical injury first year, and then you had the mental that you had to overcome. We were talking about Gabby Marshall, and just her having to delete social media and Instagram because the death threats were coming in because people were just mad they made that call at the end of the UConn game. She said, I didn't make the call. You know, Angel Reese and the threat she's been receiving for the past 2 years, and just coming back and playing, like, these are some of the things that I really want to applaud and salute. So shout out Raven, but also shout out Flage for what y'all did. The work y'all put in on the court last summer showed all season long, and the leaps that y'all made is what it should look like for college athletes every single season of their collegiate careers, because you only get 4 seasons. You know what I mean? And I know y'all played in the COVID era, and Raven has a medical red shirt because she missed that first season with the ACL injury, so she might play 5. But I mean, she might be at University of South Carolina for 5. But still, you only get 4 seasons of playing, and you have to maximize those 4 seasons, man. And I think they, you know, for all the kids that want to see, you know, going into college, you know, you might be a sophomore or junior or even a freshman, incoming freshman in high school right now. When you see what you want to look like, even on a high school level, of how much better you want to get each off season, look at those two. Look at their tape from last year. Look at their stats from last year. Look at their tape from this year. Look at their stats from this year. 2 completely different players, because they put that work in the off season. So salute to both of them. Yeah, I already spoke on Full Volley. Tess Johnson, to step up the way she did, what a heck of a game, bro. In the biggest game of the year, stepping up the way she did with the 3-point shooting. You know, a lot of people talked about Pow when she first came in. Joel, you know, shout out to Joel. You know, he was saying, you know, South Carolina, they got that shooting now. The thing on South Carolina last year, they didn't have the shooting. They had the players, they had the talent, but they didn't have the shooting. They had the defense, but they didn't have the shooting. So that's where people like a Fat Lock can say something like, who, you know, like my man's LeVar said, I got the big ballers up in my closet right now, LeVar. Friend of the channel, LeVar Ball, by the way. That's a flex. The only thing he can actually speak on is snacks. But when Fat Lock did open his fat mouth to speak about, I'm sorry. That felt really mean. I didn't need to say fat mouth. I didn't need to say that. That was mean. But when Mr. Fat Lock did say the thing about, you know, oh, nobody wants to see them. They play rugged. They just throw elbows and they play bully ball and this and that and things of that nature. About South Carolina and the Gamecocks and stuff like that. When Dawn went out and got some shooters, when she got Tess, and Tess did what she did as a freshman today, career high, you know, what bigger game to do it? Shout out to Tess Johnson. And then just the spirit that she brings to the team, around the team, like in the locker room. You see it on social media, just like how KK does over there for UConn up there in stores. Just amazing, bro. Amazing. Salute to Tess Johnson. Pow, like I said, the 3-point shooting that you brought, the veteran presence and leadership you brought to that team, because, you know, like Don said, it's kind of running like a daycare sometimes. Breezy Hall came in the same class as Raven and Sanaya and the other Sanaya. But, you know, them jokers is juniors technically. Raven's still technically a sophomore. So it's like Raven has 2 more seasons. And, you know, y'all only have 1 more season. But at the end of I say all this to say, y'all low-key still kind of like sophomores for real. Because y'all ain't even really play like that as freshmen. Even though y'all weren't hurt and y'all weren't medically redshirt, y'all didn't really play like. So I say all that to say, team was young. Team was mad young. Cardoso was the only one with the experience on the team, for real. Breezy got in, and they put Raven in a lot more at the end of last season to get her ready for this year. But for the most part, it's just Cardoso. So to bring in Pow, a veteran point guard who's been there, done that, Team USA, everything like that. Ooh. Shout out to Oregon, the O. Shout out Nike. Shout out Sabrina Nescu. Shout out Sad Bean. You know what I mean? Yeah. It meant a lot. So shout out Pow. And that's another one where, like, you see they dancing. Pow, like, the first one dancing with them jokers, man. This is a dancing team. And, like, I love seeing them celebrating everything like that. They seem like they really enjoyed it. Who else we going to? We got to get to 10. So I did Lay. I did Chloe. I did Ashlyn. I did Cardoso. I did who else we do? Tess. Sanaya, Raven. And shout out to I don't think I did a one-on-one Sanaya, but shout out to Sanaya as well for just just staying solid and playing their role. Everybody on South Carolina played their role. I honestly don't know. But anyways, shouts out to everybody at South Carolina, man. Full team effort. Hold on, let me share the screen. And I want to speak about J. Cole too before I go to sleep on another video. I hope I don't fall asleep. Power, Breezy, Tessa, Sanaya, Ashton Watkins. I literally shout out every single one of y'all. Oh, well, I guess I didn't do like a shout out Sakima Walker, man. Good transfer. Transfer over from where she come from, South Florida or UCF, one of those Florida schools. I believe it was South Florida that I want to say, maybe. But yes, Breezy Hall, just being a consistent wing. Your length is much needed defensively. Salute to you and all your contributions to the team as well this season. All right, let's talk about Iowa, man. Caitlin Clark, thank you for all you done for the game. Like Don said, to echo her statements. With that being said, like I feel like you do have to break this down. Caitlin, or to the media, to media outlets and stuff like that, major media outlets, the way that ESPN and CNN handled this, I thought was was somewhat disrespectful. Like, just to keep it a being, I thought it was somewhat disrespectful, man. Closing moments of the game, everything like that. Like, the camera's focusing on Caitlin. South Carolina's about to win their third championship since 2017. Dawn Staley's starting to build that resume slowly but surely. She's got a long way to catch up, to get to 7, to get to 5. Not that long to get to 5 now. But she still's got a way to go to get to 7. And she still has a couple more to get to 5. And she still has nearly 10 more to get to Gino in 11. You know what I mean? So, as Dawn is climbing these coaching ranks, all-time coaching ranks, as one of the greatest basketball players of all time, which is crazy. You don't see great players become great coaches all the time. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't happen for some reason. But one of the greatest basketball players on the women's side and stuff like that is becoming one of the greatest college coaches ever. You know what I mean? And with this third one, we can start to have those talks. And the only black woman in the group as well. Just by the way, you got just to give you the list if you didn't see it at the end of the game. Gino with 11, Pat with 7, Moki with 5, and then Tara Vanderveer with 3, and now Dawn Staley with 3. So, that's the elite company, and she's up there now. And so, in those final moments of that game, when Dawn is entering that status, and you have the camera panned and focused on Caitlin Clark, and you talking about Caitlin Clark, and then the announcer, who I really like, I like him, Ryan. I really like him, but he said the thing of Caitlin. We talked to Caitlin before the game, and she said my legacy isn't about winning a championship or what I did on the floor or what I did in 40 minutes. My legacy is inspiring the girls for women's. Man, we ain't trying to hear that. She lost in the final seconds. Maybe we can hear that her rookie game with Indiana. It's ESPN. It's going to be the same crew calling this game that's going to be calling the same Indiana Fever nationally televised game because it's Caitlin Clark. You can say that in a couple of weeks. But in that moment, don't take away from South Carolina and South Carolina being the moment. I felt, and this is conspiracy. This isn't proven. This is just conspiracy. I'm giving y'all a heads up. I felt like, just keeping it a being. Holly Rowe's energy was even just a little, just a little bit lower from what we know Holly Rowe to be, this bubbly, or this, passionate, you know what I'm saying, gonna get the inside of you and get that emotional moment on camera and get that viral moment for Twitter, Instagram, and all the social media platforms and stuff like that. Like, that Holly wasn't necessarily like just there. And I don't know if it's from like years of kind of you know what I mean, like little tension or whatever with the South Carolina fan base and bagging stuff like that with the fans and stuff, because you know how she did old girl at the draft, who the defensive player that was dating the boy from the Carolina Panthers, Bree Bill, excuse me, I'm so sorry, I got a gazillion things on my mind right now. But when she asked Bree Bill that question at the draft a couple years ago, and, you know, South Carolina fans didn't like it, and they didn't like a couple of the other questions she was asking South Carolina people and just prospects in general. And she fired back on Twitter and said, y'all have a problem with everything, and I'm just doing what I can do, and this and that. And they're like, Holly, we're trying to tell you, you can be better. And she's like, oh, the haters on Twitter, and I have to block all the haters out. They're like, Holly, listen to us. I don't know what it is with Holly, bro, in South Carolina, but it did feel like the dial was just a little. And for me, I'm looking at that stuff extra hard because ESPN hired you to be the official Caitlin Clark beat sideline reporter. So you interview Caitlin every halftime and game that they win throughout the tournament. So the fact that you didn't get that happy ending with Caitlin winning it, your energy was a little. You even made a side comment on the podium at the start of the championship celebration. Yeah, I would start the championship celebration, but they're having a dance party apparently. Like, what the heck? Like, that was like that was mad passive, bro. Like, and I don't even know if you realize that until I'm saying this on this video right now. But that's what you did, bro. You know what I mean? So that was two. So I said the first thing. ESPN, producers, truck, camera people panning to Caitlin Clark as she goes to the bench for the final time and talked about Caitlin Clark and her career. Sir, and ESPN, we're under a minute of a championship game, and we're about to watch history as Dawn Staley enters coaching college basketball royalty. Like, she's about to enter, and the first black person to do it too. You know what I mean? So, like, let's focus on that. Caitlin is going to be in Indiana in a week. You know, they're going to play their first game in a month. It's going to be the same crew at ESPN covering that game. And if you want to help grow the W, which you own the broadcasting rights to, go ahead and gas it in. And you can say all the fluffy stuff then. It's the first game of the regular season. We don't care. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But, like, right now, give those girls that moment that they worked hard for. Give those women that moment that they worked hard for, bro. So that was the second thing. The first thing was the Caitlin Clark camera pan. So that's on the ESPN production team. That's on the reporters at the game. That's on and the cameraman. Anyways, that's the first thing I had a problem with. Second thing I had a problem with was Holly Rowe's energy through the screen seemed like it was just a little off. And something might be going on with Holly, you know what I mean? Like, Holly's a survivor, you know what I mean? Holly's had medical, you know, kind of complications in the past and things of that nature. So, and ESPN, you know, at Disney, them jokers, they work you like a dog. They work you like, you know, you don't get no time off there. I remember she did the college football, then WNBA draft, then the college women's basketball. So she worked like a dog for sure. However, you know, I thought the energy was all professionalism. If she can't keep that energy up, swap her out for somebody else. It's a gazillion people, ESPN, that y'all got at y'all hands, at y'all fingertips, that y'all can have do that moment. Third, CNN with a picture of Caitlin Clark. I'm going to tell you how it is on the other side, being on media, since that's a little more on my side of digital and written type stuff. So CNN already had this done. They already had the story done. They had the picture of Caitlin Clark, and they knew to put Caitlin Clark's name in the headline, just like you see. Look at everybody. Look at Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco show on YouTube. I've seen the title. Look at, you know, New York Times, Washington Post, whatever outlet you name it. It's all going to say South Carolina defeats Iowa, Caitlin Clark, or South Carolina defeats Caitlin Clark, Iowa, blah, blah, blah. National championship game. And they're going to do that because Caitlin Clark is a search term. She's so popular, saying her full name in the title is going to get more people, your story's going to pop up more in the search results. So not only did they do that in the headline at CNN, they put the picture of Caitlin Clark on it. You know what I mean? And so they like had it pre-written and everything like that, skeleton of Caitlin Clark broke the Division I scoring record and this and that and things of that nature and blah, blah, blah. And they have all that already in the story. So when the game went final, they published it. They changed the headline, tweaked it to from Iowa to South Carolina wins Caitlin Clark historic career ends WNBA next. You put it out and dang, we ain't changed the photo. That was mad disrespectful, bro. Because that's literally just like, I feel like what it felt like a lot of the times. South Carolina, Full Riley can be that superstar if she went to another program and everything like that. Like I was talking to Joel about it. She can be that Juju. She can be that Hidalgo if she was just on her own program, if she was just on her own team. She went to a team where Don forces you to buy into the system. There are no superstars on this team. Everybody had their piece. I just went down the list and named the 10. You know what I mean? So that was that. But I say that to say the superstardom and the star attraction of Caitlin Clark was the story here, and it was the reason why people were watching. So many other people were watching and stuff outside of the inner, just immediate basketball circle and stuff like that. So it's like, we get it. You have to acknowledge it and things like that and give Caitlin her props for being a popular figure that we haven't seen in the game, period. And I know, like I said, shout out to Grow the Game and Sabria Whitaker, and she brought up, people like Skylar Diggins Smith before, and, all these other college athletes that were popular in college. However, to this level that Caitlin's at, we've never seen it before in college. So, like I was saying, it's a big deal she checked out for the final time. It's a big deal this is her final game. But at the same time, this is a championship game. And you have to tell the story of the champions and give the champions their just due time. Because we can't, oh yeah, by the way, South Carolina won Caitlin's final game. Like Stewie said, the girl didn't win. She can't be considered a GOAT. She can't be in a GOAT consideration. She ain't even win one. And Iowa fans, y'all got to pick a side. Because it can't be, oh, she didn't win one because she didn't have the help at Iowa. And then when I say, man, I didn't expect Iowa to be this good. I ain't know Kate Martin was going to ball out like this. Y'all like, how could you not see it? They've been good all season. Iowa's not a one-man show. We have a full team. Y'all got to pick a side. Pick a struggle. But yeah. That's what I wanted to say about that. Is there anything else I wanted to say in particular about this game? South Carolina, y'all proved me wrong. Iowa, y'all did what y'all did. One thing I wanted to kind of touch on just real quick, and I'll probably speak on this later as well. But Prairie View A&M lost their basketball coach to Alabama A&M. Let me see. Don Thornton. So Don Thornton, the former coach at Prairie View over there in the SWAC. Excuse me. Went from Prairie View. Why am I saying Prairie View? She came from Pine Bluff, didn't she? I'm tweaking. I'm sorry, y'all. And I said Prairie View about 3 times. Let me see. Where we at? I'm scrolling through a story just to get this right. Yeah, Pine Bluff. She was over there at Pine Bluff for the past couple of seasons. This is a big deal to me on a larger scale because Zay Green says she's using her final year of eligibility. She's using her COVID year to come back to college. And Zay Green has to be like 25, 26. That's a joke. I'm sorry, Zay, if you're watching this. I think it's a big deal because it's like her coach left. Where does Zay Green go now? Does Zay Green make a move to so-and-so? We don't know. But Zay Green, salute to Zay Green and Diamond Johnson as well for transferring to HBCUs and turning up HBCU basketball for the past couple of years. We appreciate it. If nobody else told you that, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And salute to y'all. Hopefully it doesn't hurt y'all draft stock. If it does, they're racist. That was kind of a joke. Kinda not. Yeah. So that's something to look out for, though. That's Zay Green going to portal now that her coach is going to Alabama A&M, and a team could really use her. LSU just got old girl from Arkansas. So you know what I mean. So I don't know. The portal is going to be portaling for sure. With these people leaving and these people graduating and these people getting hurt and people not playing. So does Zay Green jump back into it and go back to PWIs? Does she do that and go to the Power 5? Or does she just stay at Pine Bluff and finish out her season at Pine Bluff because she's already transferred too many times? We shall see. And then also KK Bransford has entered the portal out of Notre Dame, speaking of the portaling. And Tennessee hired their new coach and their attempt to get back to relevancy because it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy at all. You just lost T. Key and you lost the face of your program, Rakia Jackson. So, you know, they got a rebuilding little project in front of them, some work on their hands. And they hired Marshall's coach, Kim Caldwell. So, you know, Kim, I feel like if they hire you, hey, you know what I mean? You had to be some type of nice. And all the Marshall fans were saying, like, you know, y'all being so disrespectful, but she's like that. And we're sad that she's going. I wish we could keep her. And y'all don't even respect her. So we might as well be able to keep her. But yes, I say all this to say that's just a touch on some of the other outside news that's going on. We have so much to talk about for the next week. Please stay tuned and subscribe up. Sub up right now. Subscribe to the channel. I had to say subscribe because when you say subscribe now on YouTube, like the little subscribe button lights up like very colorfully. But I also have to stay with Old Faithful. This is the road to 5K subs. My name is Rashad Milligan. Until next time, please take care of yourselves. Great season, y'all. Great season, y'all. And it's not over. We're going to keep talking basketball until the basketball stop basketball.